Hi, welcome to Crash Course. I'm Jewel Garibaldi. Today we'll be telling you about William Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing. Entangled throughout the play is love, honor, deception, marriage, and slander. Now for a quick summary of Scene 3, Act 3.
Today we will be specifically discussing Act 3, Scene 3 of Much Ado About Nothing. It starts off with Dogberry giving the orders to the first watchman to hold the lantern when he says, "Therefore bear you the lantern." Next, Dogberry tells the watchman that if they do find a thief, just to let him go, and he says, "The most peaceable way for you, if you do meet a thief, is to let him show himself." After that, Dogberry tells the watchman to watch over Leonato's house because it was the wedding the next day. He says, "One word more, honest neighbors, I pray you watch about Signor Leonato's door, for the wedding being there tomorrow, there is a great coil tonight." Later on, Borachio confesses to Conrad that he used Margaret to look like Hero in an act to trick Claudio. He says, "Not so neither, but I have tonight wooed Margaret, the lady's hero gentlewoman, by the name of Hero."
Pause. Let's see how that turned out.
Neither, but know that I tonight have wooed Margaret, the lady hero's gentlewoman, by the name of Hero. She leads me out at her mistress' chamber window, bids me 1,000 times good night. I tell this tale byly. I should first tell thee how the prince Claudio and my master, planted and placed and possessed by my master Don John, saw afar in the orchard this amiable encounter,
And thought they Margaret was Hero?
Two of them did, the prince and Claudio. But the devil my master knew she was Margaret, and partly by his oaths, which first possessed them, partly by the dark night, which did deceive them, but chiefly in my villainy, which did confirm any slander that Don John had made. Away with Claudio enraged, swore he would meet her as he was appointed next morning at the temple, and there before the whole congregation shame her with what he saw or night, and send her home again without a husband.
We charge you in the prince's name. Stand.
This is where they knew they messed up.
Don John's plan succeeded when Claudio fell for the act and became angered with Hero. Conrad says, "And they thought Margaret was Hero?" Then Borachio replies with, "Two of them did, the prince and Claudio, but the devil and my master knew she was Margaret." To conclude the scene, we find out that the watchmen heard everything that conspired between Borachio and Conrad. They say, "We charge you in the prince's name, stand."
The key character in this scene is Dogberry. He plays the role of telling the watchman what to do and overall adding comic relief to the play. He is often known as the dumb constable middle-class man and tries to sound educated using malapropisms. Playing Dogberry's sidekick is Vergis. He has very similar characteristics to Dogberry and also adds comic relief to the play. One of the most important characters to this scene is Borachio. He's important because of his use of deception with Margaret. He's loyal to Don John and is the muscle behind the trio. He does Don John's dirty work. Next, we have an aristocrat soldier named Conrad. He's loyal to Don John and spends his life trying to please him. He is the intelligence behind the trio. The watchmen can also be categorized as flat characters. Their main job is overhearing Conrad and Borachio talk about the plan. They have little to no personality traits. A big theme throughout our play and throughout the 16th century was defamation and slander. It was known as a big deal to uphold your reputation as a royal. During this time, men are expected to uphold their last name, and woman cheating shows weakness in the men, allowing them to shame the woman for what they've done. In Act 4, Claudio says, "Oh, she is fallen into a pit of ink, that the wide sea hath drops too few to wash her clean again." This is showing how Claudio now views Hero as dirty and damaged and not able to be cleansed. Royal women are looked down upon when they cheat. Claudio talks about how he's going to shame Hero in front of the whole congregation at the wedding because she committed a crime of slander. Lastly, in Act 2, Leonato, Hero's father, says, "Daughter, remember what I told you. If the prince do solicit you that kind, you know your answer." Parents are expected to have a role in choosing a partner for their daughter, and the daughter should obey. Now for a fun tidbit on Shakespeare.
One little known fact about Shakespeare is that he uses references to dogs 200 times and references to birds 600 times in his plays.
This is relevant because we found one of his references in our play. Dogberry says, "Truly, I would not hang a dog by my will, much more a man who hath honesty in him."
Thank you for watching Crash Course. I hope you learned something about Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing. Make sure you like
and subscribe, and tune in next week for our next